Welcome back to another Iron Faith Wrestling Instructional. Today we're going to be going over the fireman's carry. Let's start off with the fundamentals of the fireman's carry. I think the number one most important thing with the fireman's carry is having control of the arm. Now there's a lot of different variations people are going to show with the fireman's carry as far as going to both knees or keeping one leg up like a high crotch. But what you see kind of across the board at the highest level is dropping to both knees. People might even explain that, hey, I don't do it that way, but if you go and watch their matches and Olympic champs, national champs, they hit a fireman's carry to both knees. That's what you're gonna see most of the time. All right, so like I was saying earlier, I want to focus on the grip. Okay, I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna reach as far up into his armpit as possible, and I'm actually gonna grab his tricep muscle. All right, I'm gonna reach in and I'm gonna grab it. I want to start up as high as possible because you are going to slip slightly when you go into the fireman's carry. So as I drop in, my hand might slip a little bit, but that's okay if I start up high enough. If you start towards the elbow and I go to hit this fireman's carry, my hand might slip below the elbow and I'm not going to be able to hit this technique anymore. Another big reason why controlling the arm is so important is that is what does the throw. The leg is important, but not that important compared to the upper body. What I mean is if I control this and I go into my fireman's carry, okay, I don't need this hand to finish. I can finish with just control of that arm. Another very key important thing with the fireman's carry, when I shoot into my fireman's carry, I want to be slightly curled over like this. All right, not too much, but I do not want to be opened up like this, like you might have in a high crotch position. You want to curl your shoulders in because a common defense to a fireman's carry is getting caught backwards like this. So you want to curl yourself in a little bit to prevent that from happening. Like all techniques, you want to build up pressure. So I get to my inside tie. In this case, I'm reaching as high up into the tricep, and I want to build that pressure up, right? So I push in a little bit. He pushes back. Okay, we've got that pressure. Now, like I said earlier, we want to jump to both knees. Again, there are some variations, but I think this is by far the best way to hit the fireman's carry. I'm going to pull this arm as tight as I can over my neck, all right? And I'm going to jump to both knees and face the camera here. Pull here, right? And like I said, look at this. I'm just using my arm. Yes, you are going to grab the leg most of the time, but the arm is what matters, okay? Curled in a little bit. You can have height here. A lot of times you'll kind of be down onto your heels here, just kind of sitting down, but you can hit it with some height as well. But I'm curled in, and I'm ready to finish that technique. Now, how do we finish this fireman's carry? Sometimes it's shown throwing like a cartwheel over your head. So when I'm in here, you'll see a lot of times it's shown by throwing him almost directly over his head, a little bit forwards, and then letting go of the leg, like that. I would say most of the time in an actual match, it ends up being more of a dump motion where you drop him over top of your head. It's exactly how Spencer Lee explains his fireman's carry. So most of the time you're gonna see, build some pressure up. He pushes back, I'm high up in his armpit. I jump in. A lot of times they sprawl a little bit and you end up dumping them straight forwards over your head here. Okay, and popping your head up, all right? I do recommend if you're gonna throw him over top in that cartwheel motion, you let go of the leg. You don't wanna get stuck in this position here, okay? I'll come to the side like this. You don't wanna get stuck here. It's hard to finish that position. So if you're throwing him over top, you want to let the leg go so that you don't get caught in that position and it makes it difficult to finish. So I'm grabbing up high. I normally build pressure up with thumb blocks. I'll say that a lot in my instructionals because if I push into him without a thumb block, it gives him opportunity to actually attack me because I have nothing defending his attacks. So inside tie, pull my head into the side of his neck here. I build pressure up, he pushes back. I'm going to jump into both knees. Jump in, I'm jumping in very deep, like way in here. I'm jumping in like, whoo. I'm getting underneath of him. It's another key fundamental. Shoot in as deep as you can, the further you are in between his legs, the easier he is to flip over top of you. And you gotta think, he's gonna sprawl as well. So if he sprawls, and I only get like, say here, sprawl back, I'm not gonna be able to finish this. Or maybe I'll be able to dump him, but come back up to your feet real quick. If I shoot in way here and he sprawls, he's sprawling on top of me, and he's gonna get flipped over. So shoot those knees way in between the legs. Another key fundamental of the fireman's carry is when you're finishing, keep your head tight along the body so that he cannot get off his back. So when I finish this fireman's carry, and we're here, turn this way a little bit. So I just finished here. Look at my head, it stays tight. And I keep pressuring into him with my toes so he can't belly out. So I just finished here. I'm pressuring in as my head stays on his body, and then I sit my hip through here to finish to the pin position. So with that fireman's carry, once you finish, keep that head right along the body and keep that pressure into him in order to get those back points. Now we're gonna go over the 3 most common tie-ups that you're gonna hit the fireman's carry from. And if you look at my underhook instructional, not my underhook one, my bad, my hand fighting instructional, I talk about finding your tie-up. You gotta have a tie-up. So if your type is the inside tie, or if your type is an overhook or a Russian tie, you'll probably be hitting your fireman's carry from that tie-up. If you like the Russian tie, you might not go to the inside tie at all to hit your fireman's carry. You'll do it from the Russian tie, all right? So I'm gonna show you guys first the inside tie, then the overhook, and then we're gonna go into the Russian tie. For the inside tie, and I mentioned this already, very high up in the armpit, right? Grab up, grab that tricep muscle, actually make a grip, okay? Once I'm here, I'm building some pressure up, I feel him pushing back. I'm going to jump in and take a big pull with this arm, jump in deep, and then dump him right over top. Head stays close, and I finish like that. A lot of times from this inside tie, you see a lot of fakes. A lot of fakes happen from here. So normally when you're wrestling and you're a person who wrestles from the inside tie, you go high crotch here, you go single here. So, because the fireman's is very similar to a high crotch, you might fake single, go fireman's, right? So especially if they're a lefty, say their left leg's forward here, right? And I want to hit fireman's to that back leg. I might go fake single and then jump right into there. Big jump, I'm going deep, I'm pulling. Dumping over, letting go of that leg. I might have mentioned that in the fundamental section, but you're throwing the leg, letting it go. Don't want to get trapped, all right? Another thing that you're gonna have to deal with if you like inside ties is this opposite hand. If he has this thumb blocked here, I'm not gonna be able to hit this fireman's carry or any shot, that matter of fact. So I'm pulling myself in tight. Another detail I didn't really talk about, pulling my head in tight into the neck or even into my own bicep, all right? And as I fake, I may have to clear too. Fakes, clears, thumb blocks, grab the wrist with the reverse grip. I'm dealing with this hand, I have to deal with it. Okay, he posts on me, I have to deal with that fake. Push, pulls, and fakes, right? How do we set our shots up? Push, he pushes back, pull, fake, and go right in, okay? Now, next one from the overhook, very similar to an inside tie. What I wanna do is my partner gets an overhook. Big thing if I wanna hit a fireman's carry is my partner gets an underhook, my bad. I need to get head position. So if my partner digs an underhook, I need to get head position on this side a lot of times to hit this fireman's carry. So if he has head position, I may drop my head underneath and then drive the back of my head into his nose and get my head position. Now from here, same as an inside tie. All right, drop that hand for a second. Same as an inside tie. It's the exact same thing. It's even tighter because he's giving you an underhook. So I reach up, grab the armpit. Now I'm in a position where I can hit that fireman's carry just like we hit it from the inside tie. I might have to deal with this hand. I might thumb block. I might fake. All right, and then I jump in, jumping off 2 feet, diving myself in. Being pretty aggressive with the finish, snapping through the finish. Pausing on your shots is where you have trouble getting a takedown against the better wrestlers. Exploding through your finish. Snap, drop them down. It's what's gonna help you finish against better wrestlers. Again, my opponent gets an underhook, I may get head position right away. Right, he tries to dig an underhook, get head position right away. Build some pressure up, maybe he's trying to jack that underhook up. All right, I feel him jacking it up. I'm gonna jump in, pull really hard on this tricep, because you do not wanna get stuck with your arms up like this. Okay, you gotta pull it in tight, body curled in forwards, dumping him over top, finishing there. And again, a lot of times, like I said, you're gonna end up dumping over top most of the time, rather than more throwing him over in that cartwheel motion. Now, the last way to fireman's carry you're gonna see is from a Russian tie. My partner collar ties me, I grab the crook of his elbow, pull it in, and I get my Russian tie. From a Russian tie, I like going under both, so I grab the wrist, I grab the armpit, I'm again as high up in the armpit as possible. Controlling this shoulder is what's gonna help you flip the person over. So if you're very low on the Russian tie, it's gonna be hard to hit the fireman's carry. So just like the inside tie, I'm coming up high on the shoulder. Now I'm in a position to hit my fireman's carry. One of the things that's tricky with the fireman's carry from the Russian tie is his head position. Head position is tough to get under. Okay, so one, you can try to get your own head position by punching him in the head with your shoulder. So taking your shoulder and kind of bumping him in like that, and then getting head position. It's a great option. All right. Or you'll have to essentially drop underneath his head. You've got to be able to level change enough to get underneath his head. Now, the two variations you'll see with the Russian tie, one, people will keep the Russian, another one, people will go to the leg. Most people are going to go to the leg. It's very uncommon, I think, to see people hit the Russian tie, the fireman's carry by keeping the Russian tie. I think it's still a great technique, but you see more people attack the leg. So I'm here, variation number one, I'm going to keep the Russian tie. Let's first set up the fireman's though, right? Push. Right, I might pull a little bit. I gotta push, pulls, and fakes. Normally not fakes with this position, but I'm pushing. I feel the pressure back. I'm gonna jump into both knees, keep this arm tight to my chest, here, and then dumping him over top, there. There's actually a great drill you can do with this to practice just entering into your fireman's carry, and I'll show you that right now. You jump in, you bring him up to his feet, and you just can keep hitting reps here to get you used to jumping into a fireman's carry. So I'll show you, we'll do 3 reps from that right now. I'm here, I jump in, I throw over, and I just pick my partner back up, jump back in, pull over, pick your partner back. And you can just kind of keep working through these reps here if you want to get a lot of repetitions in. It's a great drill you can do. Now, the other variation I think is more common where you grab the leg. So you're here, you end up, maybe you circle hip to hip to get him to face you a little bit. Then the hand that has the wrist is gonna dive in and grab the back of the knee here, just like this. So you're always gonna end up in this essentially inside tie leg position here. Okay, and look at that. See this? Shoulders out, not good. Shoulder in. Keep his arm over top of your shoulder. Don't let the arm slide down. Over top. Dump him. Pop your head out. Show you one more time, grabbing the leg with the Russian tie. So I'll circle hip to hip to get him to face me a little bit, and I'm jumping in. Shoulder tight, dump him over top. Now, the last thing I want to go over is going to be finishes from the fireman's carry, right? So how the different type of ways we're going to end up when we hit this fireman's carry. The first one we're going to go over is what I've saw from a technique video from Spencer Lee, is when your head and arm are trapped, how do we still finish this fireman's carry? So, turn this way. Actually, probably this way makes the most sense. I fireman's in, I dump him over, we end up trapped like this. If we're trapped in this position, what I want to do is get up on my toes, turn my heels towards his face. So hip to the mat, but don't touch your hip on the mat because I want to keep you on my toes. Now I'm going to walk backwards into him and look to get my head up out through that space. So walk your feet backwards. If I can get my arm free, I can even push on the legs, and your head's gonna come up as I drive in, then sit through to finish. So I'm here, I fireman's in, I try to dump him over, but he's really tight here. I'm having trouble. I'm gonna turn my hip down, I'm gonna walk towards his head to get some space. If I can get my arm free, I want to rip it back like this if possible. If you're still stuck here, maybe you can get your head free, but you're trying to get your head and your arm free. You can rip your arm back, head comes up, keep that pressure, and look for the fall. Always look for the pin if you have someone on their back. You got to end the match, okay? One more time with that one. All right, I jump in, boom. I try to finish over top here. I'm going to turn my hips towards the mat, heels towards his head, walk back, rip my arm back, pop my head up, and cover on top. Next finish is a dump finish. When you shoot in and they sprawl, again, if you have that arm tight enough, you can dump the person. Most dumps I see are from some sort of knee tap. So you can tap the outside leg or the inside leg, right? I'm here. I shoot my fireman's carry, he sprawls. If I have control of this, I can still finish. What I normally like to do is crawl my knees in more, and then I'm just putting my forehead to the mat. And a lot of times, like in this case, I would dump this inside thigh. All right? If this knee was down, I may dump this outside leg. But with the other knee down, I'm dumping here probably. Good grip on the tricep. All I'm gonna do is put my forehead on the mat. My right hand's gonna go straight and tap this leg. Head pops out. Keep that pressure driving on your toes to finish. So I'm here. I shoot in. He sprawls tight. Crawl yourself underneath. Shoot that leg on the outside in more. Head to the mat. I can dump outside too. Head pops out. Drive. Finish. One more rep here. I'm here with the inside tie. I shoot, he sprawls, boom. I might shoot my knee in even more, right? Or if I'm here, shoot my knee in more. Forehead to the mat. Use your hand to tap that leg up and drive up top. The next finish is a high crotch. If you go to a fireman's carry and they pull their arm away, because the number one defense I would say to a fireman's carry is kind of getting that arm free, right? Controlling the arm is the most important thing offensively. So defensively, getting your arm free is probably the most important thing. So if I go to shoot this fireman's carry, and for some reason he gets his arm slipped, maybe sprawl too, because a lot of times it'll be like this. This is kind of the scenario that happens. That arm gets ripped back. I've got my high crotch finishes. Now, if you want more on the high crotch, just go to my high crotch instructional. But there's 3 general finishes from here. I'll knee slide in and look to go double. All right, back to this position. All right, sprawl a little bit. I can knee slide underneath of them and lift from the center here. All right, and from here there's a lot of different finishes. Or you'll go crack down, right? So I tried to go fireman's, he pulls his arm free, lock your hands together, crack him down, post, shelf, double. So those are your 3 general mat finishes for the high crotch position. So if you shoot that fireman's carry and they rip their arm free, go to the high crotch, finish the high crotch, pivot into them. Your body's open here, you gotta pivot and turn and face and look for those finishes. Now, the last finish you can do from a fireman's carry that I know of is an arm drag. So if you end up shooting and their legs are back, and this kind of happens here, so circle this way more. I try to hit the fireman's carry, right? A very good defense is circling out in front to this position. If they circle out in front, what you can do is you can change to dragging. So if they have an underhook, you'll have to loosen that underhook up, but your free hand that was attacking the leg is gonna reach up and grab the tricep, and I'm gonna step up with my left leg in this case. Now I'm gonna grab his back as I go hip to hip, pull through. And a lot of times you can try the dump first to get him to circle and then switch. And again, if he has that underhook position, it's gonna be hard to drag that through. So a lot of times you're gonna have the arm in front, right? So we shoot here. I try to dump, I'm trying to dump. All right, I'm gonna reach up with my other hand. My left hand is dropping to the wrist to free that off. Reach up, step, drag, other way. Show you at least one more of these, all right? So I'm here. I shoot the fireman's carry, he sprawls. I'm trying to dump. I'll go this way so they can see like this part, right? I try to dump, he circles, okay? This hand's gonna go to wrist. Get this off my side here. Drag. I can go to single too. If he's on his feet here, I might go single. finish there. But the drag comboed with that dump set each other up very nicely.